Have you ever paused mid-step on the stairs and wondered, why do my legs feel heavier these days, even though I'm eating right and staying active? Maybe it's taking you longer to rise from your favorite chair, or walking across the room feels a little more tiring than it used to. You might chalk it up to age. But what if that's not the whole story? What if something you trust as healthy is quietly working against you? For decades, we've been told that fruit is nature's perfect food. And for the most part, that's true. But here's a truth you don't hear often, especially not from the people who design healthy diets. Not all fruits are safe for people over 60. In fact, some of the most common ones on your kitchen counter could be draining your strength, one bite at a time. As we age, our bodies change in subtle but powerful ways. Circulation slows, inflammation creeps in, our digestion doesn't process things quite like it used to. And those fruits we once saw as harmless, some are loaded with sugars, acids, and natural compounds that quietly inflame your joints, spike your blood sugar, and slowly chip away at your mobility. You might not feel it right away. The damage is slow, like a gentle leak in a tire, until one day you're rubbing your knees after a short walk, or your calves feel sore after just getting the mail. That's why today, I'm walking you through 7 fruits that may be secretly making your legs weaker, even though they're often labeled as healthy. If you want to keep your legs steady, strong, and free from nagging pain, stay with me. What you'll learn in the next few minutes might be the small shift your body has been waiting for. Oh, and before we dive in, if this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe and tap the notification bell. We share insights here that most people never hear. And if any part of this already feels familiar, type 1 in the comments to let me know I'm not alone. If not, type 0. Every voice matters, including yours. Now let's start with the first fruit. It's praised for fighting inflammation, but for many seniors, it can do the exact opposite. Let's talk about pineapple for a moment. It's sweet, juicy, and tastes like summer in every bite. For years, people have praised pineapple as a natural anti-inflammatory, mostly because of a compound called bromelain. And while that might be true for younger folks or those in peak health, here's something most seniors never hear. For people over 60, pineapple can quietly become a problem. See, as we age, our blood vessels become more delicate, like old garden hoses that can't handle the same pressure. They simply don't bounce back the way they used to. And pineapple, while natural, packs a double punch: high sugar and strong acidity. That sweetness sends a rush of sugar into your bloodstream, which may sound harmless, but that quick spike can actually damage the tiny blood vessels that keep your legs and feet nourished. And when circulation slows down, what do you feel? Tired, aching legs after just a short walk, knees that get stiff when you stand, ankles that throb, even after a day of sitting. That's your body quietly waving a red flag. But there's more. The acid in pineapple may also worsen joint pain, especially if you already deal with arthritis or swelling. Think of it like pouring fuel onto a fire that's already smoldering in your knees, hips, and ankles. Some people even say their legs feel heavier after eating pineapple, like the strength is slowly leaking out of them. And here's the catch: you'd never suspect it. There's no sharp pain, no warning signs, just a slow, quiet decline. To make matters more complicated, bromelain, the very enzyme pineapple is praised for, can interact with certain medications, especially blood thinners. It can make them too strong or too weak without you even knowing. That's why pineapple is so tricky. On the outside, it seems like the perfect fruit. On the inside, it might be silently wearing you down. Now, does that mean you need to banish pineapple forever? Not necessarily. But if you've been struggling with unexplained leg aches, swelling, or just that creeping sense of heaviness, it might be time to cut back. And pay attention to how your body responds. The damage isn't dramatic, but it's real. And if a fruit as healthy as pineapple can do this, wait until you hear about the next one. It's soft, comforting, and famous for supporting muscle strength. Yet it may be misleading, too. Let's take a closer look at bananas. They're soft, comforting, and often the first thing we reach for when we need a little energy. Bananas have long been praised as nature's muscle food, packed with potassium to fight cramps and keep your body moving. But as we get older, our bodies begin to tell a different story, and it's not always the one we expect. Here's something most people don't realize. Bananas are also loaded with natural sugar and fast-burning starches. For a younger, active person, that might not be a big deal. But for someone over 60, that quick sugar rush can quietly stir up trouble. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin struggles to keep up, and over time, your circulation, especially in your legs, takes the hit. What does that feel like? You might notice your calves feel heavy after a meal. Maybe your ankles throb a little more than usual, or walking upstairs leaves your legs aching and stiff. It's subtle at first, like background noise, but it builds. And if you've got heart concerns or fluid retention, bananas can quietly make things worse. They hold on to water in the body, especially in the lower limbs. Swollen ankles, puffy feet, joints that feel like they're packed with pressure. It's not dramatic, and that's what makes it so sneaky. You eat bananas thinking you're doing something good for your muscles, but they could be slowly chipping away at your comfort and mobility. That's the hardest part. You don't feel the damage right away. It creeps in, quietly, gently, until one day you notice getting around just isn't as easy as it once was. And the culprit might just be hiding in that yellow peel on your counter. So if your legs feel heavy more often than they used to, if there's a dull pain that lingers after short walks, take a moment and look at what fruits are filling your plate. Bananas may seem friendly, but they may not be the right friend for your body anymore. And if a simple banana can do all this, wait until you hear about the next fruit. It's tiny, sweet, and oh so easy to snack on. But inside that bite-sized sweetness, there may be something quietly burning your joints from the inside out. Now, let's talk about grapes. They seem so innocent, don't they? Small, sweet, easy to pop in your mouth while watching TV or chatting with the grandkids. They're even praised for being heart-healthy and full of antioxidants. But here's something few people ever mention. For those of us over 60, grapes may be doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to your legs and joints. The real issue lies in a type of sugar inside grapes called fructose. Unlike regular sugar, fructose heads straight to your liver. And if you're eating more than your body can handle, it starts converting into uric acid. And guess where uric acid likes to settle? Right in your joints, especially your toes, ankles, and knees. Have you ever woken up with a burning pain in your big toe that came out of nowhere? Or felt your calves tighten up for no clear reason? That might not be from walking too much. It could be your body reacting to something as small as a handful of grapes. And here's the sneaky part. Grapes are so easy to overeat. They're bite-sized, refreshing. Before you know it, 2 cups become 4, and the sugar builds up faster than you'd think. That constant nibbling may quietly lead to joint stiffness, lingering pressure in the knees, and that frustrating heaviness when you try to move. All the while, you're thinking you're snacking smart, when in truth, your legs might be paying the price. It's not just the uric acid. That same fructose also fans the flames of chronic inflammation throughout your body. It makes your joints less flexible, your steps less steady, and your movements feel just a bit more restricted each day. So, if you've been eating grapes regularly, and lately you've noticed swelling, aching, or tightness in your legs, this might be a connection worth exploring. You wouldn't expect something so sweet to hold such a bitter secret, but sometimes the harm is hidden in the habit. And if grapes can do this so quietly, wait until you see the next fruit. It's bright, beautiful, and feels like summer. But while it quenches your thirst, it may also be quietly draining your strength. Let's talk about watermelon, the fruit of summer. It's cool, crisp, and feels like the perfect way to stay hydrated on a warm day. For years, people have called it a safe snack. After all, it's mostly water, right? Light on calories, easy on the stomach. But here's something most folks don't realize, especially if you're over 60. Watermelon might be quietly wearing down your legs. Strange as it sounds, this refreshing fruit carries a hidden burden. Its glycemic index, how fast it raises your blood sugar, is surprisingly high. In fact, it behaves more like candy than water inside your body. That means your blood sugar spikes quickly after eating it. And as you age, those spikes become harder to manage. You see, your body has to work overtime to produce insulin in response. But the older we get, the less efficient that process becomes. The result? Chronic inflammation, especially in areas where blood flow is already weaker, your knees, ankles, and calves. Maybe you've felt it: a wave of tiredness in your legs after a light snack, a dull ache after walking across the house, or a stiffness that makes climbing stairs feel like scaling a hill. The culprit might not be your age alone. It might be that innocent looking slice of watermelon on your plate. And because watermelon is so light and easy to eat, it's hard to stop at just one piece. Two slices become three. And suddenly, your body is flooded with sugar, and your legs are left dealing with the aftermath. That's the trap. It tastes like hydration, but it behaves like a sugar bomb. Your circulation slows. Swelling creeps into your ankles. Your legs grow heavier, even though you feel like you've done something healthy. So here's a gentle thought. Is watermelon truly helping you stay energized and mobile, or is it quietly making every step more difficult? If your legs have been feeling more drained lately, more swollen, more sluggish, and watermelon is part of your regular routine, it might be time to reconsider. Sometimes the foods that feel light on the outside can carry the heaviest toll over time. And up next, a fruit we all grew up trusting, packed with vitamin C, found in juices, breakfasts, and those little cartons that claim to boost immunity. But if you've got aging joints, the acid hiding inside could be stirring up trouble where it hurts most. Let's talk about oranges, bright, cheerful, and always on the breakfast table. For many of us, they've been a lifelong symbol of good health. A glass of orange juice in the morning, a few slices on a plate, a boost of vitamin C to keep your immune system strong. That's what we've been told, right? But here's a surprising truth. For those over 60, oranges might be doing more harm than healing, especially when it comes to your joints. What most people don't realize is that oranges are packed with citrus acid, and while that may be harmless for younger bodies, it can quietly stir up trouble in aging joints. If you've been dealing with stiffness, swelling, or a dull ache in your hips or knees, particularly after sitting too long, this acid may be adding fuel to the fire. You might wake up with that familiar morning stiffness, or notice your knees resist when you try to get up. Maybe your legs feel tighter after breakfast, or your hips throb after just sitting for a while. And the hardest part? You may not suspect your daily orange is part of the problem. But here's what's happening behind the scenes. The acid doesn't just stay in your stomach. It travels through your bloodstream, aggravating sensitive tissues, especially in places where inflammation already lives. Combine that with the fruit's natural sugar, and suddenly your blood sugar rises too, leading to even more swelling, especially in your knees, ankles, and calves. So instead of starting your day with energy and ease, you might be stepping into discomfort, one sip of orange juice at a time. And because oranges have always been sold as a symbol of health, it's hard to question them. You feel like you're doing something right, but your body might be telling a different story. If you've been battling leg pain, swelling, or joint stiffness, and oranges are part of your daily routine, this may be the moment to pause and reflect. Not all healthy habits age with us, and sometimes the very thing we reach for in the name of wellness is quietly holding us back. Next, let's look at a fruit that seems even safer: crisp, green, and not too sweet. Most people see it as the smarter snack, but inside it carries two hidden irritants that could be making your nights more restless and your steps more sore. Let's take a moment to talk about green apples. Crisp, clean, and often seen as the healthier choice. They don't taste as sweet as red apples, so it's easy to believe they're better for your blood sugar, your digestion, even your weight. But hidden inside that tart crunch is something that may not sit so well with an aging body: malic acid. That's the compound that gives green apples their signature sour bite. While it's usually harmless for younger folks, for older adults, it can quietly irritate the digestive system, and more importantly, the joints. As we age, the lining of the gut becomes more delicate, and the tissues around the hips, knees, and thighs grow more sensitive. Some people feel it as a deep ache in the hips after snacking. Others notice their knees grow stiff, or there's a faint hot tingling in their feet after eating. It doesn't scream for attention. It builds slowly, a little more discomfort each time, until suddenly everyday movements feel heavier than they should. And we haven't even mentioned the sugar. Green apples may taste less sweet, but they still contain natural sugars that can sneak past your system. If your metabolism isn't what it used to be, And for most people over 60, it isn't. Those sugars can spike your blood sugar, then crash it just as fast. The result? Fatigue in the calves, cramping at night, sluggish steps in the morning, and even weakness when climbing the stairs. The hardest part? Green apples feel safe. We eat them raw. We eat them often. Sometimes we snack on them before bed, thinking we're being health conscious. But in the background, the acid and sugar may be working together to make movement just a bit more difficult and sleep just a bit more restless. So if you've been feeling tighter in the joints or your legs feel a little less dependable lately, and green apples are a regular part of your diet, it may be time to pay attention to the signals your body's been whispering all along. And if even a simple apple can quietly stir up this much trouble, imagine what might be hiding inside the fruit that's practically candy in disguise. It's tropical, juicy, and beloved, but for aging joints, it might be the most deceptive of them all. Now let's talk about mango. Soft, golden, and as sweet as summer itself. There's something about biting into a ripe mango that feels like a treat. It's juicy, comforting, and for many people, especially during warmer months, it's a favorite. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. If you're over 60 and living with leg pain, swelling, or joint stiffness, mango might be the worst fruit on your plate. Why? It all comes down to the sugar. Mango isn't just sweet, it's what we'd call a natural sugar bomb. One serving can cause your blood sugar to shoot up fast, especially if your metabolism has slowed down with age. And for most of us past 60, that's just part of the journey. When your blood sugar spikes like that, your body scrambles to release insulin. Then comes the crash. And with each up and down swing, something deeper happens. Inflammation starts to build inside your joints, in the soft tissues of your knees, hips, and ankles, the places where you already feel the wear of time. Maybe you've noticed a burning in your toes at night, a swelling in your feet after dinner, a creeping heaviness in your legs that makes walking feel more like dragging. For those with nerve sensitivity, mango can amplify these sensations without any warning signs. The tricky part is this: mango feels so light, so innocent. It's easy to eat more than one slice, but your body doesn't respond to taste. It responds to chemistry. And over time, that extra sugar can lead to unstable steps, nagging joint pain, and slower movement. So while mangoes are often thought of as nature's candy, and yes, they're natural, that doesn't mean they're kind to aging joints or poor circulation, especially when the goal is to move through life with strength, comfort, and independence. Now that you've seen the whole picture, from pineapple to mango, you know that even fruits, the very foods we were raised to trust, can quietly work against us in later years. But there's good news ahead. Because just as some fruits can inflame and weaken the body, others can do the exact opposite. They can soothe, support, and strengthen from the inside out. Let's shift gears and talk about what your body truly needs now, the fruits that heal instead of hurt. Now that you know which fruits may be quietly working against you, here's the good news. Some fruits can do the exact opposite. They don't drain your energy, they restore it. They don't inflame your joints, they calm them. The right fruits, chosen with care, can actually help your legs feel stronger, reduce everyday stiffness, and bring ease back into your steps. These aren't just foods, they're nature's quiet healers. Let's start with one of the most powerful groups: berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Small in size, but mighty in benefits. These little gems are packed with antioxidants and fight inflammation right at the root. They're gentle on your blood sugar and especially good for circulation in the legs. If you deal with swelling, stiffness, or slow-moving limbs, adding berries to your routine could make a world of difference. Next, we have cherries, but in moderation. A small handful can go a long way, especially if you struggle with gout, knee pain, or those burning aches in the toes. Cherries help lower uric acid, which can ease joint flare-ups and calm the fire you sometimes feel deep in your legs. And then there's avocado. Yes, it's a fruit and one of the best ones for joint health. Why? Because it's full of healthy fats that act like cushions for your joints. It also helps keep your blood sugar steady, giving you consistent energy without the highs and crashes. Smooth, nourishing, and easy on the body, avocado is like a quiet protector. If you want something soft, sweet, and easy to digest, papaya is a gentle friend. Rich in natural enzymes, it supports digestion and soothes inflammation, especially in older joints and sensitive stomachs. Think of it as a fruit that gives more than it takes. And don't forget pears. They add just the right touch of sweetness without overwhelming your system. When eaten with a bit of protein or fiber, they give you clean energy that lasts without putting pressure on your legs or spiking your sugar levels. What all of these fruits have in common is this: they work with your body, not against it. They help you feel balanced, mobile, and at peace in your own skin. No bloating, no burning, just small, quiet strength returning to your steps. Because at this stage of life, it's not just about eating healthy, it's about eating smart. Choosing foods that match where your body is today, not where it was 20 years ago. And when you begin to make those gentle, intentional changes, that's when you notice it. Mornings that feel lighter, movements that feel smoother, legs that feel more like yours again. Before we end, I want to leave you with a personal message, something just for you. If you've made it this far, I know one thing for sure: you care. You care about your health, your strength, and the life that still lies ahead. And if no one's told you this lately, let me be the one to say it. It's not too late. You still have time to feel better. You're not alone in this. Aging isn't easy. The stiffness, the unexpected aches, the quiet fear of falling, it can all feel like your body is slowly slipping away. But here's the truth that often gets lost: you don't need to make big, dramatic changes to take control. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as what's on your plate. One decision at a time, one fruit swapped for another. One moment of awareness that says, this time I'll choose what helps me move more freely. The fruits we talked about today aren't all bad, but they may not be right for you right now. And that's okay. Growing older doesn't mean giving up. It means getting wiser. It means learning what works for the body you have today and giving it the care it's quietly been asking for. Because when you do, you begin to feel it. Lighter mornings, stronger steps, more ease in everyday movement, less fear, more freedom. That's what we're aiming for. Not perfection, not restriction, just relief and strength you can count on. If something in this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let us know what stood out or what small change you're ready to try. Your voice matters more than you know, and you never know who you'll help by sharing it. If this helped even a little, please tap the like button. And if you'd like to keep learning simple, powerful ways to stay strong and independent, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss something that could make your life a little better. And if this spoke to you, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Every message helps us grow. Stay steady, stay aware, and remember, your independence lives in the choices you make every single day. Thank you for being here. Truly.